One of the most common questions asked right now is, should I be buying property or shouldn't I? So I am going to cover with you different reasons for why you should look to sell and different reasons for why you should look to buy. And after having seen this video, you'll have more clarity on whether you should buy or sell. If you're interested to find out whether or not there's going to be a housing crash, watch some of the other videos as part of this series and I cover that in detail. But one question which I've been asked a lot recently is, should I buy or should I sell? People aren't too sure. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through the reasons why I think you should sell, the reasons why I think you should buy, and then you can come to your own conclusions, and at the end I'll tell you whether I'm selling or why, or if I'm buying and why. So first, should you sell? One of the reasons for why you should is that house prices are at an all-time high. According to a recent article in the Telegraph that I was reading yesterday, house prices have risen by 2.5% in the last year. Hamptons International claim that sellers in England and Wales this year sold their homes for an average of 80,000 more than they paid for them. So that's one reason to sell. Second reason, properties are selling for higher than the asking price. I know that from personal experience, because when I've put offers forward, they've sold, and they've sold for more than what they were on the market for. Crazy, I know, but that gives you an indication of where the market's going and what's to come. According to the National Association of Estate Agents, in August, 13% of properties sold for higher than their asking price. 13%, that's a lot, which is the second highest since November 2015. Third reason why you should sell. Property transactions are back to normal. According to HMRC, and HMRC, because obviously stamp duty land tax returns are filed with them, there were 98,010 residential transactions in September 2020, so only last month, which is 21.3% higher than August 2020 and only 0.7% lower than September 2019, so same time last year. That's the third reason. Fourth reason to sell. After the brief restrictions on mortgage applications, there is now high demand again, very high demand. Virgin Money and Clydesdale opened their 90% loan to value mortgages again recently and had to pause all their new applications because they were inundated. That's how many people wanted to get the 90% loan to value deal. So those are four reasons why I think you should consider selling now. So two reasons why you shouldn't sell. According to analysis from Rightmove, it takes an average of 79 days to sell a house at the moment, whereas back in March, it was taking an average of 57 days to sell a house, and that's more questions from lenders. Lawyers are slower, it's taking longer. Second reason why you wouldn't want to sell, especially if you're keen to sell quickly, is if everyone sells right now, there'll be more supply than demand, which is quite obvious, by the way, at the current prices. So if there's more supply and there's less demand, that's going to cause prices to come down because people have more choice and they can choose the one that best works for them. And according to the National Association of Estate Agents, the number of house hunters registered per estate agent branch fell from 428 in July to 396 in August. So there's less house hunters now, but the market's still doing really well. So those are the reasons why you would want to sell or why you may not want to sell. Now let's look at buying. So the first reason to buy is when the housing market crash occurs, which I think is going to, lenders will get stricter and tougher and their requirements will be more stringent, so it's going to make it harder to get a mortgage. So you might want to buy now because it's easier than when the market starts to contract. Second reason, which is a big reason, is you've now got reduced rates on stamp duty land tax. So no SDLT to pay if it's your first home, worth up to £500,000. Even if you're buying a second or additional home, you still don't pay any SDLT on the first £500,000, although you'd pay the additional 3% for your second or additional house as a buy-to-let landlord. But this is going to finish at the end of March 2021, so you've got a few months to take advantage of it. So if you're looking to buy a house, and let's say you're buying it for £400,000 or even £500,000, you're going to save a chunk of change in stamp duty, land tax. So those are the two reasons to buy now. The reasons not to buy are that interest rates are at a record low, okay, and have been since the coronavirus began, which obviously is tempting to say, okay, let's take advantage of that. But the likelihood is that you would save money by waiting to see if house prices drop. Then you could save on the interest, because obviously if you buy the house cheaper, as long as interest rates don't go up, you're going to pay less interest because your mortgage amount is going to be smaller. So one reason for not buying now is interest rates are at a record low at the moment, which is tempting because obviously you'll get better deals from lenders, but the likelihood is that you would save money by waiting if house prices drop, because if that happens, you'll buy the house cheaper, and therefore if the rates are similar, which they might not be by the way, your loan value is going to be lower. So that's something for you to think about and decide on what to do. And obviously if you save £30,000 or £40,000 or even more on a house, that's not only going to reduce your monthly payments, but it means you've got pretty much a good bargain. So whenever you sell your house in the future, you'll have a bigger gain. Second reason, house prices are at an all-time high, like I said earlier. Henry Pryor, who's a property expert, advises against buying a home right now, except if you're in exceptional circumstances that force you to move. So he thinks it's a bad idea to buy a house. Number 3, house prices are overvalued currently. Like I said, all the offers I've put in, they've told me either somebody's paid asking price, but more often than not, people have paid over asking price. So people are paying more than what the house is worth or what it's on for. And according to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, they are saying that house prices in Europe are currently valued 35% higher than they should be. And we know what happens when house prices are higher than they should be. It creates a bubble and a bust. And the fourth reason not to buy now is a housing market crash is looming, and there's a good chance you will purchase a house for less if you buy next year, subject to being able to afford the mortgage, subject to what happens with interest rates. So it could be worth waiting until next year. I would say after March, probably April or May or later. Am I buying or not? I am, because my deals are all investment deals, so I'm looking for some really good deals. Mainly I'm doing commercial conversions, so I'll buy commercial property and then convert it, or I'm buying land with planning and then I'm looking to build so we can create more housing, and that seems to be working exceptionally well right now. So I am still buying. I'm not buying single units, but I am buying projects for development. So if you're looking to buy projects for developments, I'd say carry on buying, because I'm doing the same. So it would be disingenuous of me to say to you, don't do it, but I'm still doing it, so I would do it. If you're buying a house for yourself to move into and you don't have a property to sell, then I'd say wait. If you're selling your existing property and buying it, then you're going to sell yours more for now, but you're going to pay more for the other one later. So what you could do is sell yours, rent for 6 to 9 months, and then buy the kind of property you want. And next year after March, I think it's going to dip and take a nosedive, so you'll get a property cheaper. So if you're an investor, the things to consider are different. If you're buying for yourself, the considerations are different. Think about it, seek advice, and do whatever is right for you and your family.